Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to my channel once again. Today, I want to look at a story I found quite interesting. I just saw the headline or the YouTube video of it, and I thought it would be quite interesting. It's about a Finnish politician. I think her name is Päivi Räsänen, and she is currently on trial for sharing some biblical views or something that came across as being hostile to the gay community or the LGBTQ community. And it seems so fascinating to me. In 2019, she was investigated for incitement after criticizing the Evangelical Lutheran Church of Finland's official participation in LGBT pride celebration events. So she criticized the church for, I guess, endorsing the pride events. In April 2021, Finnish Prosecutor General Raja Toivainen announced that 3 separate charges of incitement against a minority group were being filed against her. The charges fell under a chapter of Finnish law which criminalizes war crimes and crimes against humanity. And each charge can result in a prison sentence of up to 2 years. God damn. What did she say? The first part of her trial was held on the 24th of January 2022, and the second part of her trial was held on the 14th of February. Well, she obviously said something that upset some people. The district court found her and Pohjala, which is someone else, not guilty of all charges, and ordered the prosecutor to pay the legal costs on the 30th of March 2022. In response to the ruling, the prosecutor, Anu Mantila, stated that the district court interpreted the statements differently than the prosecution, and that's why they viewed that the limits of freedom of speech weren't breached. This is because of something Räsänen said. She said, the church has announced itself to be an official partner of Pride 2019. How does the doctrinal foundation of the church, the Bible, align with the fact that shame and sin are being turned into a source of pride? Ooh. We're going to watch an interview with her and see what she has to say. But just off the bat, you could approach this in 2 different ways. The one aspect is the religious view. In Christianity, there are certain lifestyles that are not viewed well. And if you are part of a church and you're following the Bible, and if the church appears to be endorsing a certain type of lifestyle, you might feel some way about that and be upset at the church, which, tell me if I'm wrong, but she seems to be attacking the church for endorsing pride. On the other side, in terms of just the world we live in now, I think most people kind of don't care who you marry, who you fall in love with, and whatnot, and that's completely fine. I'm the exact same. I don't care. So I can imagine a lot of people perhaps viewing something like this as backwards and as wrong. And that kind of gets into a sticky situation because already on a social level, I think that's already tricky enough. But to kind of add the law and almost criminalize someone for stating their personal religious views, that gets into dodgy grounds really quickly, in my opinion. I'm going to be watching this interview from CBN News, which I think is some sort of Christian network. So just laying that out, so there might be some bias here.
I want to welcome you back. It's been a while since we last spoke. You know, the issue that you're dealing with, the legal issue in Finland, is really unimaginable to a lot of people across the world, but in particular here in America, where we have a First Amendment and we do have legal battles that unfold. But a battle like yours is very foreign to us. Now, I want to get into this. You had already won your court case. It's been appealed. And for those who don't know, this really hinges on 3 different accusations against you. And I want you to explain them to us. But the first one, and correct me if I'm wrong, was that you posted a Bible verse to your Twitter account that landed you in the crosshairs, correct?
Yes, that is correct. It was 4 years ago in June 2019 when I posted a Twitter post and also to Facebook. And it was about the Pride event that was going on, and that the main church, the Evangelical Lutheran Church, decided to support it officially. And it was a shock to me. And
Okay, so already right there, it seems to be that her main criticism was for the church endorsing the Pride event.
as a member of that church, and I posted a Twitter update where I asked the leadership of my church that how is it possible that you are supporting something as a matter of pride, what the Bible calls shame and sin. And I also added their photo from the Bible, from the book of Romans, where Apostle Paul teaches about the same-sex relationships. And so some citizen made a criminal complaint about this Twitter update, and then police started to investigate the case. And after it came into public, then there became more and more criminal complaints about one radio program, and then there was an old pamphlet I had written already 2004 about marital and sexual issues. And then the prosecutor decided to file up the charges. I was first interrogated by the police altogether 13 hours.
I don't know about you, but this already seems quite excessive. 13 hours? Okay, I'm battling to see the actual criminal complaints here. Hate speech, I guess, against a minority group. Is that what they're saying? If she ends up being convicted for this, let's just say, what would that mean going forward? Like, I don't know, this kind of stuff really scares me, to be honest, because if you're already being treated like a criminal because of something like this, you know, I feel like the police should be doing other stuff.
And I have to say that the situation was really absurd, because just some years ago, I was a minister of interior in charge of police. And then I was sitting at the police station, the Bible was on the table, and the police asked me about the biblical issues, about what is the meaning of the book of Romans, and what do you mean that by the word of sin, and so on. So, and then we had the trial last year, and I got acquittal of all these 3 charges. It was an unanimous 3 judges, but in Finland we have the system that the prosecutor is able to prosecute to appeal to a higher level of justice. And now the prosecutor has appealed, and I'm waiting for the trial in appeal court. So this is shortly all the process.
So
I can totally separate myself and put myself in the shoes of someone who is religious, who does believe a certain thing, and that institution endorses something that your holy book seems to be clearly against. I can understand that aspect of it. And on the other side of it, I mean, to be fair, if I was gay, I wouldn't care. As long as I get to live my life and have a good time, I don't care what some churches are doing or not doing, you know what I mean? But maybe I'm missing something here, because the church is a big part of Finnish culture and has been for quite a long time. So maybe that causes this to have a little bit more tension. And perhaps the church, on the other hand, was trying to do a more, hey, we love everyone kind of thing. This is why I'm glad I'm not religious right now, because this would all be a headache. Once you start mixing politics with religion, things just go haywire, because it's like, can anyone win out of those things, you know?
You know, and we've had you on to describe this story, and I think a lot of people, when they hear it, they're very startled, obviously. You mentioned you are previously Finland's interior minister. You're a member of parliament. You are a well-respected person in your country and a politician and somebody who is well-known. And so you were brought in, you're interrogated, and the accusation, agitation against a minority, what exactly are they accusing you of? Because you mentioned the criminal complaints. And again, this is a tweet, a pamphlet you wrote. In America, these would all fall under the First Amendment freedoms that you would have here in America if you were here. And then the third charge concerned your views about Jesus that you expressed in a radio interview, as you said, in 2019. What are you guilty of in their view?
Oh, they are accusing me of inciting against sexual minorities. And in Finnish legislation, it goes to the serious war crimes. And that's why it is just the prosecutor general who is accusing me. And the maximum punishment is 2 years jail or fine. But of course, in Finland, we have in our constitution, we have the freedom of speech and freedom of religion. And that's why I had a victory. I had a good result from
a unanimous victory.
Yes.
Is freedom of speech in Finland really well defined? Let me see. In Finland, freedom of expression is safeguarded by the constitution. Section 12 of the Constitution reads, everyone has the freedom of expression. Freedom of expression entails the right to express, disseminate, and receive information, opinions, and other communications without prior prevention by anyone. That made sense and also didn't make sense at the same time. I get what it's saying. So it's more of like an umbrella term. It's not like absolutely specified, it seems. I guess I would have to go deeper in, and I don't have time for that. Let's continue.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So I'm expecting a good result also from higher courts, but I have to say that this process in itself, it is like a punishment, because it has a chilling effect. For example, Christians, Bible-believing Christians. And I think that the prosecutor is using me like a warning sign to other people that they wouldn't use their constitutional rights to speak and express their faith and beliefs. And that's why this is so dangerous. And that's why so happy that I get also international support for this case, because I think that it is so important now to fight for these freedoms in Finland. And also in Europe, they are following this, because in other European countries, they have mostly similar legislations, agitation against minorities. So if I would be convicted, it would have consequences around the Europe, because the LGBT advocates, they are so active and aggressive, and they have very strong networks, and they are also on the background of this case. So it would have effects to other European countries. And that's why I think that it is so important now to fight and to defend these freedoms.
I've got a few things to say about this, but I'll mention it at the end. But in the meantime, if you're enjoying this, can you give this video a like, subscribe to my channel? I'm trying to grow this bad boy up and make it something awesome. So I would genuinely appreciate it. And let me know what else you want me to talk about in the comments below. Send me links to videos or whatever. You guys are awesome. Let's continue.
Do you have any fears, right? You believe that there's going to be a positive, conclusion here. You are a Christian, a strong person of faith. But do you have fears that creep into your mind of what could happen if you are found guilty?
Oh, I think that it would be quite dangerous, because in fact, even the police, when he investigated the case, he said that if I would be convicted, then the Bibles also should be banned, because what I have said, it is in the Bible, and
right.
It would be crazy. It would be it would start persecutions.
But she hit the nail on the head there. If she got convicted for speaking or preaching about something that she believes and it's in the Bible, then for her to go to jail for speaking about that basically means that it's illegal to be religious. This would be crazy. And I'm not saying I agree with any of the religions or whatever. I'm just saying I'm quite all right with people being free to believe whatever they want to believe. As long as I get to live my own life, I'm kind of all right with that. But yeah, this is a slippery slope in my opinion.
A lot really to unpack here. What is your message to Christians who, because you said something very important, that this has a chilling effect, to Christians who are watching what happened to you and what you're going through 4 years now in this legal battle, and they are afraid to speak up now because of that? What would you say to them?
At first, I would say that now it is time to use these rights to speak and to express your beliefs. Because the more we are silent about difficult issues or controversial issues of today, the narrower becomes the space for these freedoms. And also, I would warn about very vague legislations. When we speak about hate speech, nobody in Europe can express or tell accurately that what it is about. And that's why I think that the legislation should be very clear that what is legal and what is illegal.
Okay, cool. So I was somewhat right in the fact that it's not very clear. It seems a little bit vague as to what we actually mean by free speech or hate speech or whatever.
In Finland, it is not clear. And in Europe, and we have, as you said, we have similar problems in many European countries just now. And I think that it is because even though we have in our constitutions the right, these important freedoms, then we have these laws about incitement against minorities and hate speech laws, and they are, when they are used, for example, against classical Christian beliefs, not any hatred, but classical Christian doctrine, they would lead to really difficult times for Christians and also for other people, because the freedom of speech is important for everyone, also for gay people and atheists. So
yeah.
Yes, it is.
I would never imagine if somebody criticized Christianity, even though I would disagree as a Christian, I would never in a million years say, oh, they should be punished for sending a tweet critical of Christianity. I would respond to it maybe, but I would never want that. So this is very disturbing to watch. And I think people are looking at your case, as you said, to see what is going to happen. And I just want to give you one final question here. For those who, because you're being painted as a hateful person, right? That's how they're essentially painting you in this process. And that doesn't seem to be a good characterization of who you are at all. How would you respond to that if somebody says, well, you're being hateful with your messages?
Yes, I want to say that what I have spoken or what I have written, it has been about similar things that Christians have spoken and have been teaching for decades, for 2,000 years. So it is. I would say that it is a matter of love, not hate, because I have all the time said that all people are equal. We are all created as the image of God, and we are also all sinners. We are in need of grace, all people. But it is God who says that what is sin and what is not, and that's why I think that it is a matter between God and man. And for us Christians, it is important that we can agree with Bible and we can also in public agree.
But one, I'll just say this seems super unnecessary. Why go through the hoopla about this? Like, why would you appeal that decision? Why would you even try and send someone to jail for something like this? it starts kind of getting tricky. Are we going down the road of all religions becoming illegal because they say things that people might get offended by? First and foremost, I'll just say I personally believe that people can love who they want to love, live the way that they want to live, as long as they're not hurting other people. And I think just as long as we are able to, despite our differences, still treat each other with respect and kindness, I think we'll get along just fine. I think it's beautiful that people have different beliefs, different ways of life that I may not agree with, but I think we are in agreement that you can do what you want in your space and I can do what I want in my space. And that is a beautiful thing. I think that is great for everyone. But this just sets a precedent for things getting a little haywire, because where does this road end? Will we get to a place when anyone who believes in some sort of religion is condemned as a hate speaker or something like that? I don't know, man. And about her as a person on trial at the moment, so far as I have seen, it seems like most of her frustration was against the church for endorsing the Pride event, which the Bible that they both follow kind of goes against, whether you believe it or you don't believe it. That's just the way it is. So I can understand her frustration. I can, I guess, understand how some people might be offended by this, but I guess in the same breath, I would ask people, like, why are you looking for approval from the church? Like, what? Live your life. You're having a good time. Do your thing. Who cares what anyone else thinks, you know? But the overarching thing for me is just that this seems like a massive waste of time, and it should never have gone this far. We are not so soft out here that if someone believes something opposite to us, even if it's our very lifestyles, we're not just going to shrivel up and die. Who cares what random people think about us? But if you have enjoyed this video, guys, I really appreciate you watching this. Leave me a comment below letting me know what you thought of this video, what you would like to see me cover next. Have a fantastic day or evening or whenever you watch this. You guys are awesome. Peace.